Go.
Greetings all, Shane Bruce, Resto Mod Daisy with a hail and farewell to one of our favorite guns. Came in from a customer for a cleanup, scrub down, remove the crunchy surface rust, fiddle with, polish on, rub on, play with, and do a couple of little bitty tiny mods to it to reflect or affect some of the deficiencies the gun had. This is a Daisy, and we'll flip her over on the other side. You can see the name, 20th Century. An ancient piece of technology going back over 100 years. Single shot BB gun, one of the first guns that Daisy introduced. It's got a walnut buttstock. It's got a cast iron frame with nickel coating and a folded steel compression chamber and barrel assembly. Also has a removable shot tube. It was a multiple shooter, but shot lead pellets, not steel pellets. So slightly smaller diameter. The gun was sent to me. Was having issues with a wobbly buttstock, which we've corrected. It also fails to really close completely, but for a wall hanger, I think this is in good shape. The gun does still shoot, not very well. We've fired lead pellets through it from Gamo, sent by the customer along with the gun. And these are the little guys there. And they will get the gun up to about 121, 122 feet a second. Not very much. Kind of a plinker. But, you know, thinking about it, it's over 100 years old. It's still got its original leather seals in it. I'm amazed that it's got any compression whatsoever. In response to some of the comments from the last video we did on this gun, we actually tried wrapping some of these little round pellets with a variety of materials to form a patch. And in muzzle loading parlance, that's typically a piece of fabric that's placed in the barrel with the pellet and gives it a little more grab on the barrel itself, inside the barrel. We did try that with paper and very thin cloth and even a small piece of fabric softener for dryer use. It worked kind of, but was a real mess to get cleaned out of the bore, so I don't think I'd recommend you doing that. But you will see a little bit of a jump. With the best results came with the dryer sheets, actually. You just place the dryer sheet over the muzzle, push the BB into the tube, cut off the ends, and use a ramrod to seat it. The dryer sheets got the gun up to about 143 feet a second, 144. Marginal improvement. But on the plus side, at least they don't roll out of the barrel when you, if you have the gun less than horizontal. Still, turns it into a single shot. It's quite tedious. Don't know. I believe the gun is just going to hang on the wall for a while. Now let's take a look at the compression tube. When we first got the gun, like a lot of older Daisies and older guns that don't get used a lot, it had a bunch of really crunchy rust. What we did here is do a slow and painful process, utilizing 800 grit wet dry sander belts that had been run on other projects and were probably more like 1,000 or 1,100 grit left on them by the time I got to working on this piece. We just basically worked it real slow, worked it real easy to get the surface metal smooth. You might be able to hear the fact that you don't hear any scratching sounds when I run my fingernail over the surface now. And that's because the metal is smooth. So it's nice to touch. It looks good from a distance. There is still some patina on it here and there. And as it ages, this will mellow out into a more of a brown color. But I'm going to stress to the client that he really needs to keep it oiled, well oiled. And if you handle it, certainly oil it again. It's got some fairly good remedial nickel coating on the cast iron assemblies on one side, but like a lot of Daisies that you'll run into, there's a girlfriend side and a mother-in-law side. This would be the mother-in-law side. When they sit in the same place for years, decades maybe, you'll see deterioration in surface effects. So it's a little darker on this side because I don't think it got moved around much in its life, and a little brighter on this side. So in my mind, this would be the side that people would want to see. The walnut stock was in fairly good nick. It did have the prerequisite, mandatory, required little flecks of paint on it. Those have been tediously and meticulously worked out. We've put another coat of Danish oil over the original finish so that the areas that didn't have any finish now have some protection. The gun is, I believe, to be presentable. It's a nice example of the genre. It's complete. It does function. It's not going to go to the Olympics and win any gold medals, but hey, it is an ancient old daisy. It's going back home now to sit with the rest of its brothers and sisters, and probably one of the most eclectic daisy collections that I know of. That's all we've got for you today, kids. This is Shane Bruce with Resto My Daisy, signing off.